This session will be transmitted via Zoom and also will be recorded to be published in the IAF website in the members only section. And we will also be sharing it through our Facebook Go Live feature. So our members of the International Association of Facilitators group will be able to see it live as well. So it's 3 minutes and we'll be starting in 3 minutes. Do I look good?
Yes, sir.
Good, good.
You have to reciprocate the gesture I did to you, Héctor.
Can you repeat that again?
You have to reciprocate. I told you you look good.
Oh, you're looking good, looking good.
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Participants list is going up. So very well represented participants from all over the globe. Sharda raised her hand. So Héctor, you can also walk participants through raising the hand function when you start.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, if anybody, yeah, we'll review that. And well, let's take advantage that we still have 1 minute and we can ask the participants to rename, if they can rename themselves and put their, after their name, where they're from, so we can know where they're connecting from. That would be nice.
Yeah, Sanjay, I'm whispering to Héctor so that you don't hear. So I'll be louder. So
Thanks.
So here we go, Héctor. We start 7 p.m. here. So good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. We have, for the first time, India has been hosting since April 2017 continuously. And facilitators from across the globe have been really supporting us. So from now on, we are going global and very, very happy to feature Héctor for this first webinar, which is going global from the hosted by India chapter. Thank you, Héctor. I met Héctor in Kuala Lumpur and broached the subject of webinar, and he gladly and immediately agreed. Thanks for that, Héctor. So you have the profile of Héctor. I'm not going to spend time on that. However, the list shows that we have people from Kenya, UK, Singapore, Peru, including Afghanistan, Iran, South Africa, and all over. So we are delighted. So, and Héctor is now from Dominican Republic. It's 28 degrees there, he says, quite warm. And quite a few questions have been thrown in on the pre-work. I hope Héctor will have some time to deal with at least some of them. So Héctor, over to you, and thank you so much for consenting to facilitate this program, which is really, we are all looking forward to it. We really want to spice up our facilitation and the work. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the invitation and for all the great work that you've been doing in the previous sessions. I know it's a lot of work to get all people together and the invitations and all of that. So I really appreciate it. And all of you our attendees that are joining us today, thank you for joining and for letting me share with you a little bit of what I do, what I know, and what I love, because I do love technology. I do love facilitation. I'm very passionate about both topics, and I'll try to share with you some tips, some tricks on how to spice up your facilitation session. But before we get started, I would like to see if you can help me out, because as you can see the list, we have a very big list of attendees. And if you can help me out by renaming, and when you go into the participants list into the session, you can rename yourself and put your the country where you're from. That would be nice. That would be a really nice of you if you can rename yourself and put where you're from, so we can know whom are we talking to, because we know we have people from all over the globe today. And that's really exciting. And as you can know, we also have the chat, the webinar chat feature that you can open, and you can share there all your ideas, all your questions. Well, not your questions, but your comments about what we're seeing as well. And we'll want to remember you that we have the Q&A feature here on Zoom. If you have any questions, please click on the Q&A, and that way we will have an order of all the questions that you have that we will be responding. We have a lot of questions that came up from the registration. Some of you asked very interesting questions. We will try to solve some of them, if not all of them, through this session. Well, I think, Narcy, it would take us like 4 or 5 hours with all the questions that we've received so far, but we'll try to make our best to share with you a little bit of what we know and what we do. So we have people from Europe, from the Americas, from Asia, all around. So welcome again. And well, let's get started. I'd like to know my audience. As any good facilitator, we like to know the people we're interacting with. So I'm going to be sharing a feature of Zoom that I'm very fond of, that it's the polling feature. And I want you to answer a couple of questions so I know whom we're talking to and the experience that you have. So now in your screen, you should be seeing a couple of questions that you should be able to answer. And the first one is, how many years of facilitation experience do you have? If you can please respond to this question. And also, and the second one on, have you ever used any of the following software? We're going to be using some of that software to, if anyone has used it as either a participant or as a presenter, as a facilitator. So let's see how it goes. We're 20% already voted. Thank you. That's great. So, Narcy, how would you respond to these questions? So, how many years of facilitation experience do you have, or do you prefer not to answer that one? Okay.
I think Narcy is on mute.
Yeah, Narcy, you're on mute. I think you didn't want to.
Yeah.
You didn't want to answer that, huh?
I told you, as long as you don't ask my age, I'm willing to answer these questions. Yeah, 4 to 7 years in that bracket.
Okay, so you would be in more than 10 then, right? So so let's wait for a couple of seconds more to see if anyone else can answer it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Q2, it didn't give me an option to select any. Somebody says Sanjay says.
Yeah, we have an issue there. Yeah, the voting was selected for only one option. Apologies for that. Okay, good.
All right. Question 2 used from 4.
So let's close it up right now.
Okay, close it, because some people are not able to poll right now. Hopefully, some tech monkey maybe.
Okay, so let's see the results as you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share the results with all of you. Now you can see my answer. Okay, so most of you have more than 10 years of facilitation experience, but we have some participants that have started just this year. So we have a pretty good mix, right? A lot of you have used a lot of the some of the software that we're going to be seeing today. So that's good because we're going to be seeing some of the less used features in some of them, and some of the benefits of how to use it as well, right? Because we're going to be reviewing some of them, right? Interesting. Nobody has seen UMU. That's, I think you're going to like that one. And let's. And we're going to see, well, a lot of you have used Zoom poll before. That's good. So, so you're familiar with this process of interaction with participants as well. So that's really, really good to know. So I think we have a very good team, good group today in RC, and we're going to be able to get some very interesting questions from all of them. So, some rules of engagement today. Let's make sure that if you want to take notes, feel happy to. We're going to be recording this session, as you will have access to it through the IAF website afterwards, right? Make sure that you're able to exchange your ideas through this webinar chat, and make sure that you enjoy the session. Please, hopefully we're gonna be learning, but also doing it in a fun and an interactive way today. So, what are today's goals? We're aiming to experience the use of some of the digital tools, right? So that you can use to interact with your group in a facilitated sessions, right? And with mainly two uses: ice-breaking and energizing. As there are many tools in facilitation that help facilitate the facilitation process, such as brainstorming techniques. We will be using also different others as well, like for decision making, consensus building, voting, etc., etc. Right now, we're gonna, as the title of our webinar says, we're gonna how to spice up, how to make sure that this tools can help you spice up a little bit on what you do, and that they support the goal that you're aiming to. Right? Sometimes technology can get in the way, but sometimes technology can really be very helpful on supporting the process that we're doing. So we have to make sure that the technology doesn't become an issue, but it does become a supporting actor. As right now we may use charts, we may use global flip charts. We will use markers and post-its and voting dots and for voting and the like. All of that also exists in the digital realm. The issue here is that we have to make sure that we don't use them just for using them, but we use them for a goal, for a really good reason, right? And the goal here is that you can expand a little bit of the possibilities that you can use all of the different tools in your next session, right? So let's get started and let's talk a little bit about facilitation. And I want to remind us that facilitation is about connection. We help people, as the image shows, to connect with one another, right? The only issue that we have here is that sometimes technology and connection, sometimes they help, sometimes it not. If you can, I would like to ask you this first question is, what does this image communicate in terms of emotion? What do you see in this image? Can you share with us in the chat what does this image share or communicate to you in terms of emotion? If you can please write it up in the chat. It says confusion, focus and intensity, curiosity, concentration, intensity and evaluation, isolation, global connection, future, a mess, emotionless. Look at that. We have a whole different ways of interpreting the same image. And that's interesting, because a same image can convey so many things, and technology conveys that as well. When we think about technology and facilitation, we might think, oh, wow, that's confusing, or that's intense. But I want people to connect. I want people to get together, not to get isolated, and technology might isolate people, right? So technology can work both ways. It's a tool. I always say that technology is a tool. It depends on how you want to use it. It depends on how do you use it and at what moments do you use it to work with the group that you're engaging with, right? So we have to make sure that the technology actually helps us to, as the title of the session said, spice up. Now, what does this image convey? It's a lot different from the previous one, right? The colors, right? So this is the question that I aim to respond today. How can we use technology to spice up your specific session? Because there are many ways to do it, but I want you to show different ways so you can think, okay, how can I make technology a tool for myself, right? So let's continue and let's try to spice things up. And I want to make sure that we understand that we have different tools for different goals. Not one software, not one technology is going to solve all your challenges, right? Depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you should select the tool for the job. Like when you have in a hardware store, you have how do you say that? You have hammers, you have saws, you have screwdrivers. Every tool has a job to do. With technology is the same. Sometimes we as facilitators, we would like to have one tool that will solve all our problems. And that's difficult to actually happen because different tools are aimed at to different goals, right? Or different capabilities. So we have to make sure that we have different ones in our tool belt. The goal is that you can use the one that's more appropriate to the session or to the job that you have at hand or that the group that you have in front of you. So let's continue, and I would like to go on what we call the icebreaker uses of technology, and we're going to start using what we call the software called Mentimeter. So right now I'm going to ask you to use either your cell phone, your tablet, or even the computer that you're logging in through, right? And go to www.mentee.com and use the code 310927 to respond to the questions that we have there. And then we're going to review how does it work and a little bit on the back the scene on how did it come to work. I'm gonna just okay, just a minute. Okay, now you should be seeing my browser now. So please let's go to www.mentee.com. Right, I'm gonna ask you to open a browser in your cell phone or in your computer, or and answer the questions that we have there for you, right? So, okay, some of you have already started. I'm not going to show it yet. I'm not going to show it yet because it will spoil. So, okay, let's continue. The code is 310926. 310926. Right? 2926. Right? Very good. We have more than 40 people already responded. More half of the participants. Well, let's just give them a couple of seconds more. Narcy, that's good. Right? And okay, good. So let's see. It's how our team feels today. We have hey, look at that. Some are sleepy today, Narcy. They made it. Could they be the ones that are just waking up, or could be the ones that they're just trying to finish up and just go to bed?
No, not go to bed so early.
Yeah.
Must be the ones who are waking.
A lot of them are happy, and thank God nobody's sad or angry right now. But 27 of our 64 respondents are quite curious about the topic, I would say. Don't you?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
I'm reflecting, mirroring the body language now.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So look at that. So it's good. So we're emotionally, we're in a good place, I would say, for the most part, for almost everybody there, right? So that's good. So let's see the second one. Let's go to the second question, right? What is the type of difficult participant you encounter the most in your sessions? You have four options there. We have the wise guy, the yes person, the complainer, or the devil's advocate. So let's see if you can respond to this. Good. Thank you. Perfect. Awesome. Everybody responding now. Great. Great responses. Perfect. Sounds really, really good. So now that we're reviewing this, so now in just around a couple of minutes, I've collected information from you that could help me work through the session, right? So in the first part, I'm collecting emotional information, how you're feeling, how the group is feeling, what the different participants are feeling in some sort of way. I mean, it's a limited way, but this is a way that I know that, okay, I'm in a good place right now. If I had more people sleeping, then I would have to make it even more dynamic and with a lot of other things happening to ensure that everybody's awake and paying attention, right? If I'm delivering a workshop on difficult participants or how to deal with difficult participants in a facilitated session, here this could help me out or where to focus my energy through the rest of the session. Or for example, you could use this at the beginning of a session. If you have 3 or 4 or 5 issues that you have to discuss with the group or that the group has to go through, this can help you determine which one you deal with first, right? So as we're seeing here, this is a tool. What we call it, I call it mentee. I use it normally for like an opening tool. So to gather information so I can start working with the group in a more familiar manner. Right now, I can say that I know you a little bit because of these couple of questions and prior to the first one, right? Mentimeter, along as Slido and Poll Everywhere, they have sometimes similar features. Some are different than others, but a lot of them can allow you, for example, to do this, to demonstrate, to show images, because this is a question that you're responding with an image instead of a word. So that can help you out a lot, right? Sanjay is asking if there's some Zoom controls are disabled right now. We're using the webinar feature of Zoom. So some features are disabled because this is not a regular meeting because of the size of the participants, of the number of participants joining us today. That we have right now 92 people connected at this time. So yeah, hope that responds, Sanjay. Welcome. And so one of the benefits of Mentimeter that I like is that it's free for if you're going to use it to do questions. Yes, and actually I'm going to show you how it works a little bit in the background, Pat. So the free version allows you to select 2 questions, to show 2 questions, but you can have as many questionnaires as you need, right? One of the things that I like about this is that on the settings, on the configuration, you can select the language, and there are many languages here represented, so the interaction is able to work in this too, right? So One of the limitations of the free version is that you only can select 2 questions, but you can create as many questionnaires as you need, right? And the good thing is that the interaction is in many languages. So that also, it's very helpful, because sometimes the instructions are in the default language. So you have to choose the language that you need to work with, right? So, so basically what you do is that you create a question. Each slide is a question, right? You can add on, right? Oh, I forgot to, I had a third one. I forgot I had a third one, but well, I'll do that later. And you can just basically add another question, and you select, oh, sorry. I'm gonna use this one. You basically can download the results. You can change each question, right? And you can actually customize it in different ways. You can close the voting, you can hide the instructions bar, show the image, and the like. You basically select the question first, as you can see. You can do a word cloud, multiple choice, open-ended, et cetera, and then you define the content, and then you present it as we're doing it right now. So, right? So Mentee is very good when you're gathering information and in a very visual, appealing way. And it helps to create that engagement when you have questions for icebreakers. I like that when you start a discussion and you need some information from the group, and the group is quite large. It gets you moving right away, and people are very comfortable with their interface for the most part. So so this Pat, you're asking if we can switch from Zoom to Mentee, or we can show Mentee within Zoom. Okay, Zoom has the capability that that you can share whatever you want. So for example, right now I'm sharing my browser, and I can go back to my presentation, right? Right now I just switch from my browser to my PowerPoint window, and we do it within Zoom. That happens within Zoom, right? I can select what to share, and without any problem, right? So let's go back to the presentation. So we're to Mentee. One of the benefits that I like about Mentee is that you can download the results in an Excel sheet. You can download them. You can export it into, and you can use it afterwards, right? You can either download it per slide, or you can download it in Excel in the advanced paid yeah, on the higher paid version, right? So you have a lot of options as well. So that's one of the things that I do like a lot about Mentee, that you can select the information as well. Okay. Yeah, that is correct, Rohit. That's correct. So let's go and we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. I'm gonna share. Let's go for the, and I would like to share the next one, that it's called Slido. Hi Mia, good to see you.
Swedish.
Connected. Yeah, actually
Swedish.
Mentee is Swedish. Yeah, they're really good about that. Yeah. So I like to go into slido.com. Let's go now in your cell phone or your computer or your tablet to slido.com, and we're going to use the code X500 to respond to the question. So, yeah, so I'm going to be right. We're going to go to slido.com, and we're going to be responding the question. Good, perfect, thank you. So let's all respond the question. Let's see how it goes. This is what we call Good. Perfect. We have a lot of people from many places right now, and the code for Slido it's X500. X500 is the code. Yeah. One of the things that I like about Slido is that it provides you with options of Q&A, so you can ask questions directly there as well. So if you're doing something live, right? If you're doing something live, you have the two features available. So for example, right now we're using the QA features of Zoom. But for example, if you're doing a live session with a lot of participants, with Slido, you can
Of course, Héctor. Or join somebody who has put outer space.
Héctor internet connection is freezing. We'll come back.
Okay.
Héctor got disconnected. He should be coming back. Just waiting for Héctor to join back.
Yeah, his internet has shut down. His WhatsApp pages now. Okay, so it's trying to switch now.
Q&A in Zoom is the first time for me.
Yeah,
New
because
feature.
it's a technology session. This happened today.
Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, it's back. So we had some fun behind your back, Héctor.
Yeah, sorry about that. My connection here at home got disconnected. The whole house was without internet, but now I'm back. I don't know. Sorry about that. But one of the issues of technology. My apologies. So we were talking about Slido, and we were talking about the Wordcloud. That's one of the features that Slido can. Well, most ice-breaking software, that, as I call them, interaction software, they have that. And the good thing about it is that it's quite fun to use. People like to see it. It's very visual when they're doing their own. The only thing with word clouds is that in order for it to work very well, people have to write the exact word in the same way. So, for example, right now we have the size of the size of the word represents the number of people that have responded in that manner. So if people change a letter, it is detected as a different letter. For example, we have India with the smiley face and India, normal India. So that person is not counted in the big side of on the big India word, right? So we have, and that's the only issue. But Wordcloud can also help get a sense of where the people are in different ways. You can ask open-ended questions and people respond in a different way. So, for example, instead of putting options as we did on the "How are you feeling right now," you could put, "Hey, type down how you feel." So you could select the option that is more appealing to you and for your audience, and what also the result that you want. In this regard,
Slido free, Sanjay is asking.
For a small number of questions, yes, it is. But let me just show you that part. This one I'm using right now, all of the versions that I'm using right now for you are free at this time. So the differences is what the interaction and what the feedback that you can receive as well, right? So
Yeah, and Hector, Jeremy is asking, the codes don't seem that safe for corporate facilitation and sensitive information. Can you create your own passwords? This is in Q&A.
Normally, in the upgraded versions, they have that kind of options in the paid versions for more secure capabilities. Some of them they have, but that would depend on the level of security that you're aiming to. I mean, that would depend a lot. If you're working with, for example, the military or government or the like, that they might not be very open to do this kind of exercises with sensitive information. One thing is doing an icebreaker, and another thing is, okay, what are we going to do about this problem? And that problem could be an issue if the options are distributed for the web. So right now it depends on what you're aiming for. Right now, these tools are more for icebreaking, that kind of light environment in a way, right? Instead of using it for actually big, heavy discussions. I wouldn't recommend this for if you're trying to decide the future of a company. You're going to put the options there and people are going to select the options. I probably wouldn't recommend you use that kind of this kind of software, right? Yeah. As Freddie shares, Mentimeter also has that Wordcloud. Wordcloud right now is used in almost anywhere. I mean, it's quite popular feature and is for developers. So it's quite good. So now we've seen Wordcloud of Slido. I'm gonna share with you. I would like to share with you the next one that we have right now. And the next one is umu.com. You can log in either by using this address 396603.umu.com, right? Or you can, okay, and right, and I'm gonna now share. Oh. Can you see my screen? No, right now, no. Okay. You can also use this.
Now we can see.
396603. On UMU. Also, and we're going to see that the issue in just a minute is that when you're talking about technology, is you have to control almost every aspect of it. Actually, you've seen it right now as my connection just broke down. Actually, as my backup plan is the cell phone, and I was actually connecting through that when it came up again. So now you're all submitting it. Good. I hope you're enjoying it. Because what we're doing right now is what we call a game break. This is one of the ones that I do like a lot, because people, when you can select different games, and people it's like a 2-3 minute break, and people can do this like a brain teaser. Is that the word, Narcy? Brain teaser, right?
What?
The word is brain teaser, right? Is it? Yeah, when the so
somebody said that it's asking them to open an account.
Yeah, but it's free. Yeah, but it's free. It's free. When the host is the one that pays for the account, and the participant creates the account, and it's free, right? So one of the things that I like that I haven't seen in other softwares, but Umu has it, is precisely this feature, right? And that this feature provides you with a way of like to engage people minds in a quick way. And people, if you're talking with millennials that they are on the phone all the time, this is quite good, because people kind of like they like it, and they like the competitive side of it. And if you're after lunch and you have an issue and people are having a problem staying awake, this definitely will wake them up. This is one of those games that helps a lot in that regard. And it's but actually, curiously, UMU actually basically it's a learning environment. It's a learning platform. But I basically use it for this, for the ice breaking and the like, because you have word clouds, and you have all the other things as well, surveys and tests. You can have quizzes here, the graded quizzes as well. So you have a lot of options. Can you see in my in my screen all the options? Okay, perfect. Now you can see this. All the other all the options. Irene, you have to use pin without the www. pin.umu.com. That can help. Hi, Anita. This is basically just an icebreaker. It's just a game. You just select the game that you want to play and you play it, basically. And one of the things that I like about this is it's a online platform, and people can use their cell phones to access information as well. They have an app, a very quite intuitive app, and I do recommend it much. This one is from Japan, if my memory is correct. And actually they were sponsors of the last Osaka conference a couple of years ago. So we use it in several for different sessions as well. And the good thing here is that you can add documents or articles or infographics. You can review the attendance again as well. The code is 396603, Sanjay. So, and this is what I selected, a game break. And it allows you to publish the activity and allow people to play it. So let's see, how did it go? I want to see how did it go. I'm gonna display the results to see who's our champion. Narcy, did you respond at all?
Yeah.
All the games?
Yes, yes.
So I have to recommend.
I did,
we have a tie for first place. We have Giggs and Loween.
Oh,
Congratulations, 4,080 points each. So really good. Mia, it was close, but not as close as Adolfo, who was the third place there. So congratulations to you all. Very good.
4 and 5 is also tied up.
Oh yeah.
4, 5,
Actually,
6, 7,
8. Actually, we have a quadruple tie. Wow. Wow, that's good. So I do use UMU more for that, or if I'm doing an online workshop or training, UMU is good for that. I like that very much. For up to 20 participants is free. For 20-30 participants, it's free for one group, so that can be helpful for you guys. They are focusing on what we call just-in-time training or bite-sized training. They focus a lot of that. So this software, it's you can have assignments and stuff like that. It's quite appealing. So we've gone through different. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for your feedback in that regard. So we've talked about ice breaking, getting information from the group. We've talked about this Energizer thing. So, and there are many other ways that we can use the software. But I wanted to show you another software that's an interesting one. I just started using it a very short time ago, and it's called Poll Everywhere. So let me show you. I'm going to show you my PowerPoint. Yeah, because I will need to stop. Poll Everywhere. It's an online service, but that has an interaction with your PowerPoint. So you download the software here and you install an add-in to PowerPoint. So, for example, right now you're seeing my screen. You're seeing my presentation. I'm going to close this one. You're seeing my screen, right?
Yes, Héctor.
Okay, thank you.
And the slide sort of now Poll Everywhere.
Good.
PowerPoint is opening.
Perfect. So what it does, it adds a different layer into your PowerPoint, right? And as you can see up top, here on top, it adds a menu to your PowerPoint, right? And you link your account. I mean, you link this account, your Poll Everywhere account, with your PowerPoint, and it allows you to insert directly the session into your presentation. I mean, the surveys or whatever you want to create, it links it directly, right? So it shows directly the information that you're sending, right? So Poll Everywhere provides a lot of templates. That's a lot of templates, there as well. And the only thing is it has only 25 responses per activity. They work what we call through different activities. So you can have the different polls. You can create groups of polls as well. That's one of the things that I like as well. That's how they organize the information. So that's a good thing. And you can get you can download it. You can create reports and the like, and you can embed them directly into your PowerPoint. So as you can see, you can embed it. And when you're in PowerPoint, here, as you can see, my account is there. I can insert either an activity, a screenshot, or the instructions, or a video, or I can just create a new activity directly. So it opens, and it lets me select, okay, what do I want to do? So if I want to do a Wordcloud, you remember the Wordcloud that we were doing on Slido? We could do that here as well. We can have clickable images. We can have surveys, we can have open-ended questions, and even we can have competitions, a little bit of what we did a little bit ago. So we can have little quizzes so people can work with each other. And there's a lot of things that are already here created, so you can have a very fun time working it out. So for example, if you want to create a 2x2 matrix, it creates it for you. You create the image, you create the project, you rate it, you can help rate the project, and you can do a brainstorm. There's a lot of things that are quite familiar for you guys. So for example, if I want to create here, which region, where are you from? And I'm going to insert this, and you're going to see that the activity is being inserted to my PowerPoint directly, right? So if I would open the presentation. Oh. So people will go onto this website, pollf.com/Héctor Villarreal, Héctor Villar 701. You can customize this to make it easier. This is just the default one that I have on my account. And one of the things that it's very interesting about PollF is that you can use SMS if you are in the United States or North America. You can send a text message and you can start responding it, right? So let's see if you can join in. Let's go to www.pollf.com/Héctor Villar 701. So you can select it, please. Good. Perfect. Okay. Very good. We've okay. Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you for responding. Hey, Narcy, it seems that we have a big majority there.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, good, good. Oh, sorry about that. We didn't put. So one of the things that it's interesting is that the information is saved. It's saved directly into the PowerPoint, so the information is there. Yeah, it stopped. The poll is full. Yes, Vijay. The poll is full because I'm using I don't use it that very much. I don't use that feature, so I am using the free version. It's only allows you to 25 participants for responding. So yeah, but I wanted to show you that there's a very interesting option here that you can download it and link it directly in poll. So do we have any questions there, Narcy, on the Q&A?
Okay, just hold on. How about Klaxon as a tool? What would be the better context for its utility?
Okay, Klaxon, if Klaxon, it's an interesting option as well, but it depends, because I think the most benefit of Klaxon goes when you have the full package. If let me just I'm gonna show it very quickly here, and the whole package is that, and I would say that that's the main, well, the biggest feature of Klaxon, and the biggest feature of Klaxon is what they call the meeting boards, and the meeting board allows you to show the work in a mobile, like huge TV tablet kind of tablet. So it also helps you a lot when you're moving around a factory and you want to work on site. It's quite amazing. I would say that that's the most interactive tool that I've had. It's a little bit more expensive, but it also works a lot in that regard. I would use more Klaxon for gathering information, brainstorming, decision making, that kind of thing, more than to spice it up. I mean, you have to dig deep into these tools, or any other tool that is for discovery information, to get information around. I mean, there's a lot of, I use personally Storms for that. I use also sometimes I've used Mural as well, but those tools are not for spicing up. I would say that's for full-fledged online facilitation more than that. So yeah, it does. It's something that's really very interactive. It's really nice to work with, but I think that's I would say it's the biggest. I would say it's but there are many others, such for example as Storms. That is one of the ones that I use a lot, that I would highly recommend for that kind of, oh, sorry. Like when you do more fully collaborative work. I don't know if that responds to the question.
So there's another question from Jeremy. The codes do not seem that safe for corporate facilitation and sensitive information. Can you create your own passwords? I think you answered that already, that you would recommend.
Okay.
And then how is Pollev different from Mentee? Both are tools and look similar.
Can you repeat that again?
How is Pollev, P-O-L-L-E-V, different from Mentee?
Well, the difference with Pollev from Mentee is that you can integrate it directly into your PowerPoint presentation. So that's a nice feature to have, because so you don't have to go into the website and change and switch and stuff like that. So that it's very convenient for a lot of people. People like that. So that's one of the benefits. I would say that would be the main feature there. And you can have several presenters, and you can do a lot of stuff around as well. And you can, and one of the things that I like about Pollev is that you can do the polls from your cell phone quite easily. Mentee also has a little bit of that as well. I think that's one of the things that I like about Pollev. Yeah, hope that answers that.
So here's one question: what common challenges have you found while using these tools, and how have you overcome?
Can you repeat that, Narcy?
What common challenges have you found while using these tools, and how did you overcome?
Well, one of the main issues is internet connection, because sometimes in certain places you have to have internet connection for this to work. So that's the main issue. And always when you're working with a live audience, make sure that you have a backup plan when the internet breaks down. And if it's mission critical, for example, let's say that you're doing a facilitation with 50, 60, or 70 people in a very specific environment. Make sure that the internet works. Try it first before you do anything. You have to try it first. Make sure that the cell phones that the people are going to use, the tablets, the iPads, or whatever, they're up and running before it's working. I would say that that would be mission critical. And also always have if you're doing a face-to-face engagement, make sure that you have a physical backup plan. So if everything goes down, you go back to your charts, your flip charts, and your markers, or your dot voting, or whatever you're trying to do. Because I mean, it just happened 15 minutes ago. When you're doing a technology-driven activity, make sure you have a backup plan. Yeah.
Of course, the speed of the internet also should be good.
Yeah, as Freddie shares in the chat, speed, connection, and consistency is definitely critical.
Okay, do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, so
I know we're almost done, but yeah,
okay.
if we can have 5 to 10 more minutes, no problem.
Yeah, some questions from the chat I'm reading out. Vijayalakshmi is asking, would you recommend doing online polls when the virtual group size is small, say 15%?
It depends on what you're getting, what information are you aiming to get. Sometimes it's good to have some specificity, and so surveys are very clear. So for example, if I have a 10 or 15 people and I want to know what their experience is, instead of going one by one, how much time do you have, how much time have you been using facilitation or the like, we can use the survey, and quickly I can get 4 or 5 different questions, so I can get a lot of information, so I can get started. So if you have a small amount of time and you need a lot of information, this kind of tools are very, very good for that. You can get a lot of information in a small amount of time. The only issue is that human connection might not be as good. You have to balance both. The human connection, so people can interact and can engage with each other, and just the transactional part of the information that you're getting out of them. And because sometimes if you don't have a lot of time, you might have to not invest that much time in the human connection part. I don't like that, but sometimes it's necessary.
Okay. So
I have to apologize to Anisha and our African participants, because in the questionnaire I didn't put Africa. My apologies for that part. I'm sorry about that. It should have been there.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
So this is another question. What tool can work offline besides online?
Well, supposedly Kahoot does that a little bit. I've not used it. The one that I use a lot that can work offline and online, it's Storms. I'm putting it on the chat box. The one that I use that I'm very familiar with, and I could recommend, because they have what we call the Storms box. And let me show you a little bit about that. Because what happens is that you have a server, and actually I'd say it's military grade and secure, that you can allow, and it allows people to connect to it. So what happens is that you have the Storms creates a self-contained Wi-Fi that's not connected to the internet, that connect to computers, tablets, or cell phones, and the information can start flowing within what we call the Storms box. That it's a small box like this size, and it can connect up to 90 participants there, 95 I think, up to 100 devices. Yeah.
So actually asking what's the cost for Storms?
That depends. It can go. It depends. I would say that's a case by case, and you will need to contact Alexander. You can send me an email later today, and I can direct them to you, so you can work it out. Yeah, because it goes in it's this individual negotiation, because it depends how many people you're going to connect with your Storms and the like.
Okay. So Hector, would you be willing to share a list of tools and purpose for which you find them useful?
Oh,
For the
yeah,
participants?
sure, definitely. I do have a couple of lists that can help you out. Actually, what's that? Okay, no, this is not it. So yeah, definitely, I can do that for you guys. Actually, we're gonna send we'll send it out to all the registrants, the registered participants, and the participants who showed up. We'll send it out to you guys. Actually, there's a questions on that part as well in the chat box by Don. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
We will do that.
So is this a different version of Zoom we are using right now? That's a question.
Yes, right now we're using the webinar version of Zoom. Zoom has the meeting version and the webinar version. The Zoom version, okay, just a second. And Zoom has the webinar version and has the meeting version. The meeting version allows everybody to see each other and to share their screens and the like. The webinar version provides much more control, as we had practically 90 something participants in the session. We had to take a lot of control on who was participating and how, and it's easier to do it on the webinar version. But in the meeting version, you would have up to 50 webcams presenting. So that could have been an issue if we're trying to, because right now we were trying to just ensure that everybody was receiving all the information at the same time. Yeah, but this is another version. Yeah.
So Lowen Chan is asking, what's the best tool for you to run the brainstorming?
Oof. A good tool for brainstorming. There are many. There are so many. I mean, there's so many. I'm certified in using Storms, but for brainstorming. But you can use You can also use brainstorming. Most of the ones that we've seen, if it's just a basic brainstorming, you just want the ideas up there. You can use almost all of them with an open-ended question. But if you want to use that information to aggregate, to move, to put around, there's a lot of out there. There's a lot of out there. I would go with Storms, both thing, mural.co. It's also very good one. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy it. I think our time's up. I think. Is it?
No, we have some more time. We go up to 26 minutes more if you are open to it. Otherwise, if there are no questions.
Yeah. If there's any other questions, yeah, we're gonna send the list. And as Deep, we already shared that. Okay. Some of the Rohit is asking on the chat box if some of the other common challenges. Well, I've shared about the connectivity.
Yeah, you already did that. You can go bottom
up.
But
there's another challenge that I wanted to share, and is when the question is not good enough. What I'm saying is that the question that you put on the system, on the software, is not really well written. People might understand different things and they may be responding different stuff. And the difficult thing is that then the responses are out there. And when you're doing a live session, it's easy to see if people are understanding your question correctly. When you're doing with a software, people might be doing a lot of responses, and those may be not the ones that you're looking for. So you have to be careful on the question that you put there. So that would be another challenge that I might find, that you get, because you didn't write the question correctly, or you didn't contextualize the question, you might have some issues there as well. Yeah. Okay. Well.
There is one. How do we use MindMeister facilitation?
I would use it for brainstorming, There are many ways to use it as a live brainstorming. MindMeister also has the capability that several people can join and add information simultaneously. So you can, if everybody has the software, you can do a brainstorming and then aggregate it and move it around. So I would do it for basically for brainstorming and then aggregating and moving things. But it's actually MindMeister has an option of an online tool as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody remembers you talking about Lucid in Malaysia. Any insights on this?
Lucid charts?
Lucid. Yeah.
Well, there are several Lucid. One is Lucid charts, and the other is Lucid meetings. Lucid charts is very good for visual representation, visual imagery. It helps a lot for visual mind mapping. I like it very much, and it has a lot of for flow mapping. If you want to flow, if you're reviewing a flow chart of a process and stuff like that, Lucid chart is really good. And the thing is that you have capability of sharing also, so that's very comfortable to work with.
There's another question. Is Zoom webinar similar to WebEx webinar version and similar to GTM webinar version?
Oh, can you repeat that one? I barely hear you.
Is Zoom webinar similar to WebEx webinar version and similar to GTM webinar version?
That's correct. They're quite similar. I'm not very familiar with those because I've not used those in a while, and I know that they have evolved in the last couple of years, but they're pretty similar.
Okay.
Right.
So is there any webinar tool where we can do the whole facilitation?
Is there a tool?
Wait a minute. Yeah, is there a webinar tool where we can do the whole facilitation with all questions, polls, and PPT sharing like Adobe Connect?
Okay. Gosh, I wouldn't know. I don't think there is.
Okay.
I don't think there is. But I would recommend that you don't use more than 2 tools in any session. Even 2 tools can be too much because people can get overwhelmed. So you make sure that you devote some time to ensure that everybody is technically comfortable with the software. When you're face to face, that's very easy because you can see the panic in the faces of people when they're not able to connect or something. That's very easy. When you're distributed, for example, right now we had at one time 90 something participants, but the most of responses in our questions on the different tools was 60 or 70. So there were like around 20 participants that didn't respond. So I would have an issue because they weren't able to connect, and that's information that we're losing as a group. So that would be confirmed, right?
So Tamara says that we use Remo recently for World Cafe session.
Mm-hmm. I haven't used it. I've heard really great things about it, but I haven't used it so far.
Okay. Any quick insight into Mural and Session Lab? Didn't get any information about
on Session Lab? Oh yeah, of course.
Mural also.
Session Lab, it's one of the tools that I always communicate and share where I'm doing my sessions. Session Lab, it's session design software, and actually the IAF has a library of tools there within Session Lab available only for members as well. As you can see here, you have the IAF methods library. It's here. It has 497 methods that have been vetted, reviewed, and enabled by certified facilitators of the IAF, and you have access to all of those. So Session Lab, it's a great tool. I use it all the time. I use it with my customers to share them the sessions design when they want to see the session design in detail. It's an awesome session. I mean, awesome software. I mean, they have all of this, and what you can do in Session Lab is that you can create your session. Actually, let me show you guys. I'll show you one that I created for the conference. Where is that? Okay, here. I did it for 2018. And I was able to create a session here. and share it with my support staff of the and my session buddy for the Osaka conference 2 years ago. So one of the things that is that you can see all the session design. You can set up the different activities, and you can put all the information, the goals of each activity, and all the instructions, and you can share it with your different collaborators as well. So the free version can allow you to have up to 10 designs. So that's and when you're an IAF member, you can connect your account and you can see the libraries of activities that you can actually use for your session. Actually, I think we're going to be doing there's a webinar on our IAF website that shows how to use it and all of this in detail. I would recommend you to go into the IAF website and check it out. And because actually you can actually do a lot of things here, and I highly recommend it.
So there is a question, is there a training on the use of Session Lab? Is that what you're referring to, the webinar that you're going to do?
No, I was just showing the option of the planning that I did for the workshop that I did in last time. So, but you can use it for planning webinars. Yes, you can use it for planning training sessions. You can use it for facilitation, design sessions. Everything
there are a couple of requests. There are a couple of requests to have a webinar exclusively on Session Lab.
I'm sorry?
Exclusive webinar on Session Lab, how to use Session Lab.
Oh, yes.
There's a request. Yeah, there's a request.
Actually, we have that.
You have that, yeah?
Let me just, if you can just give me a minute. It's no. Yeah, because I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure that I show you. Here's an article about it. But no, wait. Here's the webinar. I'm gonna put this link on the chat box. Yeah. So you can all check it out. Here, it explains how it works. It's a full hour of just Session Lab, so you will be able to share it and enjoy it and be able to refer to it as well. So I'm going to put this. I'm sorry. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, it's one of the hundreds of resources that we have on the IAF website for all of you guys.
So we're going to save the chats, right? Chat box. We're going to save and
we're going. Actually, we can export it and send it out with the list of tools.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. So there's another question: is it possible to ring fence the participant devices such that those can only be used for session purposes and not get distracted by other messaging and notifications? Basically, it talks about can you have some ring fencing the participant devices?
I think let me see if I understand the question. The question is, how do we ensure that people don't get distracted with all the technology?
Yeah, by messaging and notifications. How do you avoid that?
Okay, so
he's talking about the participant devices.
Yes, if you want to have full control, you would need to ask people to don't use their cell phones, and you provide the technology. If you want to have full control, so people won't start using WhatsApp instead of responding to the surveys, I would say that you would need to provide the technology. Sometimes I do that because I want to, or the client wants to make sure people are only focused on what we're discussing, and they don't want to be using their cell phones for other stuff. So you provide the technology, either via tablets or computers or whatever, and you set up the technology to work with your session in a way that they can only use it for that, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So just tablets and that they have access only to certain websites, and you set it up that the website is there and they don't go to anywhere else, right?
Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
Okay. I think there's one last question. Other than Zoom, is there any other tool for concurrent breakout chat rooms?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, is there, right. So other than Zoom, is there any other tool for concurrent breakout chat rooms? You know, the breakout
Uh,
rooms.
there are many. Maestro Conference is one that come to mind. Um, it's one that come to mind. There are many other. I think WebEx and GoToMeeting are starting with those features as well. I know Adobe Connect has that feature, if I recall correctly, but I don't use it frequently. But yeah, the Zoom is right now by far the easiest one to use and the cheapest one as well.
Okay. Uh, do, how do we go live on Facebook while we are on Zoom webinar? Is there a provision for that from Zoom?
Yeah, Zoom provides that. Actually, when you're using, this is a feature only for webinars and not for meetings, but for webinars. And you can just click as an option and you select it and you send it out.
Oh, that was a revelation to the both of them, right?
Yeah, that's part of the features of, yeah. And we're going to be using more and more with here in the IAF too, so we can ensure that we are able to enhance with other
Okay.
members and as well.
So Hector, one more. Your thoughts on group map and team retro?
I used GroupMap a while ago, and Team Retro I haven't used it. I would like to have more response for you, but I think it's not good for me to talk about a software that haven't actually used, or at least researched enough about. So my apologies on that. There's just so many softwares out there that it's difficult to know them all. But yeah, my apologies on that part.
Okay, so any kind of software you have that can be used when the in a remote area where the internet is very slow or almost not. So usually use Zoom. They usually use Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Fine. I think
I
most
think
of it over. Would you like to answer anything from the Excel sheet in case you have five on it?
yeah,
Probably you can just put yes, no, your comments and then put it back.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think pretty much done now with all the questions.
Thank you.
Nothing more on the Q&A. Nothing more on the yeah.
Well,
So all of you, I think we're done. So if you can just put your thoughts on the chat box, your feedback, if any, that would be great for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think in true Hector's energy, quite fast-paced, highly informative, fantastic visuals that he uses always. Been really fascinated by Hector's graphics. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. So Hector, I think you need to be really getting into the chat box and see a lot of kudos coming to you,
Much
a lot of
appreciated.
accolades coming to you.
Thank you.
Super session, yeah.
Much appreciated.
So, next one.
Thank you all for your feedback. Appreciate it. We'll continue having these webinars, these global webinars every month.
Yeah.
Look forward. I'm looking forward, Narcy, for the next. Who's next, by the way? Who's coming up next?
Yeah, trying a couple of options, Hector. So we're finalizing very soon. Yeah, there are options, so we are going to finalize in the next coming week. Yeah, signed up for February and March, so I just need to schedule it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
So keep in touch, everybody, and make sure that you you receive the newsletters and the information. You follow IAF Global, IAF India, and social media and all the IAF chapters around the world. So you know what's happening, and so you can connect on the following webinars as well.
Yeah. Next month also we're looking at the last week, because now that we're on the last week. So 4 weeks from now.
Perfect.
So it will be a shorter month.
Great.
Thanks, Hector. Been really a pleasure to have you. Really
Thank
fantastic. We enjoyed a lot of good tools. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. So look forward to the chat, and look forward to some more information on the mail, and especially the tools list and the utility value of that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Raj. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajkumar, for helping us out. Great, superb summary. I love it.
Hector. Thank you.
Thank you for all.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
See you next time.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.